Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to learn about being a meteorologist. The first word that we're going to learn about is meteorologist. So, meteorologist is someone who tells us about the weather, or you call them the weatherman. Meteorology is the study of weather. Records, a written report of event records. Satellite, an object designed to go around the Earth in space and collect information. Satellite. Warning, telling someone in advance that danger is near. Warning. So, the purpose of listening to today's story is to listen for different types of people who depend on meteorologists and predictions of weather. Dear kindergartners, this is my last letter to you about seasons and weather. Today we will learn how to know what kind of weather is on the way. Have you ever watched the weatherman or the weatherwoman on the news? Sometimes people blame the weatherman for bad weather, especially when their plans were spoiled by rain. But the weatherman does not control the weather. He just tries to predict or make his best guess at what the weather is going to be like later in the day, tomorrow or next week. Sometimes he's right, but sometimes he is wrong. The study of weather and making weather prediction is meteorology, and the person who does this is called a meteorologist. The words weatherman and weatherwoman sometimes used to describe the people who appear on television to tell you about the weather. Maybe you've seen them on the evening news, or often the weatherman or the weatherwoman is the meteorologist. Predicting weather is important so that people will know what to wear that day or whether or not they will need an umbrella because of the rain. Predicting weather also helps people to plan things like picnics or trips to the beach. If my parents are planning a family picnic, for example, they would want to make sure that it's not going to rain on us while we're outside. But picnickers and vacationers are not the only ones who care what the meteorologist has to say. Farmers need to know how much rain to expect. If the meteorologist says it is not going to rain for a while, farmers may need to figure out another way to get water to their plants. In fact, anyone whose job could be affected by the weather needs a meteorologist. Whether the person is a baseball player, a construction worker, a garbage man, or an airline pilot, or an astronaut. One way meteorologists predict what the weather will be like in the future is by studying weather patterns and temperatures from the past. When you watch a weather report, the weather person will tell you what the high or warmest temperature and the low or coldest temperature will be for that day. High temperatures usually come during the daytime, and low temperatures are usually at night. However, the weatherman can also tell you if the temperatures on a particular day are, are normal for that time of year by checking the weather record. The weather record is a kind of weather diary. It lists what the weather was like on the day in previous years. Besides looking at weather records, what else do meteorologists use to predict the weather? How do they know what is going to happen? In fact, Predicting the weather is quite complicated, and even with all the amazing computers and equipment that we have nowadays, the weather person still is still sometimes wrong. However, meteorologists' predictions are also correct a lot of the times. This is thanks to in part to satellites, like the one in this picture. Satellites are objects launched into space that contain cameras, radios, and antennas, but no people. Once in space, the satellites travel around the Earth. The satellite cameras take pictures and beam them down to the meteorologists. Using the photos, meteorologists can see storms as they develop and predict whether the skies will be clear or cloudy. Of course, you don't always need a meteorologist to tell you what the weather is going to be like, especially if dark clouds like this rolls over town. These dark clouds are types of cumulus clouds and often develop into thunderstorms. You can also find cumulus clouds during nice weather when they appear white and puffy like cotton balls. These are cirrus clouds. They are thin, wispy clouds that float way up high in the sky. Usually, cirrus clouds mean the weather is going to be clear and pleasant. Stratus clouds are the third cloud type. They float fairly low to the ground. These flat clouds can stretch across the entire sky. They sometimes drop light rain or drizzle. The most important part of the meteorologist's job is to help save lives by warning people. When severe weather is on the way, look at this picture. It, it was taken when a hurricane was heading towards land. A hurricane is a huge storm that forms out over the ocean. The meteorologist in this picture is studying images of the hurricane just as it is about to strike land. The image was made by a computer that is able to thanks to the satellite, airplanes, and other tools, to determine how fast the wind is moving, how much it is raining, and in which direction the storm is moving. Thanks to computers and satellites, the meteorologists saw the hurricane days before it came anywhere near land, so they warned the people to leave their homes and head to safer ground. A lot of people were kept safe from the severe weather because of the meteorologists. The meteorologists help people stay prepared for and safe during whatever challenging weathers may throw their way. Even though you can predict what the weather should be like, during any given season where you live, it is difficult to always predict from day to day exactly what the weather will really be like. So it is good to listen to your local weatherman or weatherwoman so you will know to carry an umbrella that day. Bring along extra sunscreen. That way you'll always be prepared. Thank you so much for helping me with the weather project. From now on, I hope you'll keep an eye on the sky and always pay attention to the weather in your neighborhood. Why is predicting the weather important in your life? Tell a grown up. Draw a picture of a meteorologist. A meteorologist is blank. Have a fantastic day, boys and girls.